Hey, my name is Dan. I was a seasonal warehouse associate in the Midwest for Amazon. I worked at Amazon for about 3 months during peak season. I applied to Amazon on a whim one night at about 1 a.m. To my shock, I got an orientation scheduled that same morning in a local hotel. There were about 10 to 15 people at this orientation, including one leader guy. It took about an hour and they did an oral swab drug test while I was there. I also had to complete some basic online training. The orientation and online training were both paid, which is nice. I liked that there was no bullshit in the hiring process. Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I was kind of surprised working there because I thought there'd be robots running around and people boxing things up, but our warehouse was pretty much just sorting out prepackaged FBA, that is fulfilled by Amazon, boxes to be loaded on the trucks. I also expected that there'd be real mean or something because I read all those articles and whatnot talking about you can't have a phone, you can't talk to others, and that they're going to work you to the bone. I was just really surprised because the entire time I was at Amazon, they treated me pretty well. It was probably the best job I've ever had as far as the way my employers treated me. And ironically, it was a temp job. I mean, I figured Jeff Bezos would be out there in the warehouse, like with a bullwhip or something, cracking employees who didn't make rate. But this wasn't the case at all. It was nothing like that. Management was pretty fair. Everyone was pretty cool. I also thought maybe they wouldn't care about me, like I said, because I was a temp. But they knew my name. They treated me just as good as a regular employee. And that was nice. That was surprising, too. And I also saw online that a lot of people were complaining about the place was real dirty, especially the bathrooms. This wasn't the case at all for me, at least the warehouse I worked at. The bathrooms were spotless. They had like 2 to 3 people there the whole time who were just nonstop walking around cleaning things up. I remember one time something broke, one of the packages, it was like vinegar or something, broke on the floor, and they had that thing cleaned up in less than a minute. I mean, those people were working. Amazon has a point system. The entire time I worked there, I didn't get any of the points, which is bad. You don't want points. It's basically if you show up 5 minutes late to your shift or clock in after lunch, something 5 minutes late, you get some points. And if you get fired for points, you pretty much deserve it because it's hard to get fired for points. Although it's something to take into consideration, if you want to get a full-time job at Amazon, you need to keep your points down as low as possible because that helps your odds of getting hired. My favorite job was sorting and induction, but most of the time they make you stow. Sorting is where you move packages along the belts to the particular side so that they go in the right location. I like that it keeps you mentally busy and you're not using a scan tool. What I came to learn is the best jobs at Amazon are the ones where you're not using a scan tool. Pretty much nobody wants to stow. I was probably one of the fastest stowers in the building, which kind of bit me in the ass because they would want me to stow even on times where they put me in induction or something because they knew I was fast. Somebody would leave or something, they'd be like, "Hey, can you help stow?" It's like, oh hell. But yeah, I pretty much kept my lanes empty the whole time, the entire shift. Even during peak season, like where everybody else's shelves were completely overflowing, I kept those lanes spotless. There was nothing on my shelves. And I mean, I hustled though. I was working. And I think part of the key to doing that is just to grab multiple packages at once. Don't bend over for the lower ones. And organize your bins during the break or downtime when things get slow. And it also helps that I'm tall and can see the higher bins because I've seen some people, they spend too long trying to reorganize this stuff. They're taking one package at a time. You got to grab like 3, 4 packages, kind of scan with your eyes, see if there's like some similar packages that are going to the same place so you can get one after the other. And if you really let stuff build up too, the easy thing to do is set it on the floor, like all your A's in one spot, all your B's in another spot. I helped some people out. I never had it get that bad for me, but I helped some people out by doing that, by helping them get their stuff stowed down. I remember I was working so hard too. One time I got blisters on the bottom of my feet, but that wasn't Amazon's fault. It wasn't like they made me work that hard. Like I was saying before, I've been trying to get my work ethic back up, so I was really pushing myself, not to try and impress a boss or nothing, just because I'm trying to, work on myself in that regard. And I just want to say 10 good things about my time working at Amazon and 2 bad things. And the 2 bad things really aren't even Amazon's fault. For the 10 good things, number one, great no frills hiring process. Number two, nice benefits for what the job is. They've got really good health insurance from what I hear. Good pay, again, for what the job is. I didn't put any past jobs, no real hiring process. Got the job within literally 8 hours of applying. Was going to the orientation. I was getting paid $15.50 an hour. They got plenty of overtime opportunities during peak season. Very clean, and number four, very clean and safe working environment. That was something that I saw online, that it was like dirty and unsafe. That it was the cleanest warehouse I've ever seen. Even a guy who was 40 some years old working in warehouses his whole life, he said this is the cleanest warehouse I've ever been in, and I agree with him. Maybe this differs from location to location, but the place I worked at was very clean. They had number five, they had multiple free lunches. They had like Chick-fil-A one day, vending machine coins they give out if you got extra work done that you could put in the vending machine, get yourself a soda for free. They had free coffee and hot cocoa, which was nice. I always liked getting that hot cocoa, especially because I was working during the winter months. Number six, Amazon was very ethical. I was very surprised by that. I've had jobs where like you show up and they tell you to go home and stuff because they're overstaffed. Amazon never once did that. If we were overstaffed, they would offer people to go home, but they never made anyone go home. And they didn't make you do busy work. I was really surprised by that and impressed by that. There was no favoritism really. I mean, a little bit, but nothing major at all. Even the managers would get out there and work the floor, and nobody ever got to work their favorite job all the time. Everybody had to stow at some point. They never stole time either. I've had jobs where like they try and steal your time. You got to keep checking your hours because you feel like they're going to short you hours. I never really felt like I had to worry about that. They always did good by me. Number seven, free PPE and free to use well-stocked, the well-stocked medicine cabinet. The cough drops taste amazing. I had to wash my eye out one time, and they had stuff in there, which was really nice. I also had to use a bandage for a blister I had on my foot, and they all had this stuff available to me. There was no like checkout process or anything. I could just grab it, no questions asked, and it was very well stocked. It was always like full. Wasn't a bunch of stuff missing. And they also have like vending machine gloves, like with this vest I'm wearing. You could get one of those if you didn't bring one to work, and you could just get it no problem. You get the little knives they have, the safety knives. I still have a bunch of those gloves. I love those gloves. Those things are so nice because you can actually use your fingers. It's not like some big wool glove. Number eight, there's plenty of overtime opportunities. There's a lot of people who are working 60 hours a week there and getting decent money for it, for their skill set. And during this, it's like every day you're getting texts saying, hey, we got more overtime opportunity for you. Hey, we got more overtime opportunity. It got kind of annoying, to be honest, because they'd send it in the middle of the night and just all sorts of stuff like that, getting all these texts. Number nine, they promote from within. I saw a couple people actually get promoted to better jobs while I was working there, and they were employees. They didn't have college degrees or anything, but they were getting promoted from within. And if that's something you're interested in pursuing, that's something nice. And mind you, I did work at a newer facility, so there's probably less like people set in stone. They're just trying to get people up the ranks and so they can keep the facility going. And number 10, it was just an overall good experience. I got to work at night, something I've never done before. I got to work in a warehouse, something I've also never done before. I got to work for a logistics company, something that I want to do. I just want to see how packages moved and all that. and how Amazon became the biggest company in the world. That's a big reason why I wanted to work there. I wanted to see what it is Jeff Bezos did that was different to make Amazon so big in such a short period of time. The two cons. The two cons were all related to other employees, and you're going to have this anywhere. But lazy employees, man, there were some people there that just, they didn't want to work, plain and simple. You'd wind up having to help them out because they would go real slow at stowing, and it's just like you look across the way, and it's like you just see them moving like a sloth. They walk off to the bathroom every couple of minutes, and it's like, those people should have been fired. But Amazon's probably afraid to fire them because they're afraid of a lawsuit or something. And it's unfortunate because it kind of kills your morale because you see these other people not wanting to work, and here you are working 3 times as hard as they are, doing 3 times the amount of work, getting paid the same rate. It'd be nice if they had like some bonuses or something for people who put in like the best work. Another one, number 2, loud radio. I don't think this is a thing in a lot of Amazon facilities, but they had a radio there, and employees would hook their phone up to it. And it was so loud because all it was 2 speakers in this little cart. It was like for a guitar or something they used. And it was for the whole warehouse, but it was sitting right next to some of the lanes for stowing. And it was just ridiculous. Like it physically hurt my ears. And I remember one day I almost quit because they were playing some Trey songs talking about the neighbors know my name stuff, and it was just killing my ears. And I'm like thinking, oh, I'm gonna just walk out of this place. I can't stand this. And you probably could have thought like, hey, you could turn this off, but I didn't want to be that guy who just been working there a week and now he's, saying, hey, turn the radio off just for me. Nobody else gets to listen to the radio. So I just kind of put up with it and reminded myself of what I was trying to do here, and I stuck it out. But man, that you did not want to be next to that radio. In conclusion, I really liked working for Amazon. I really don't have anything bad to say about them. I think they're actually a very good employer, better than what they get portrayed in the media to be. Your experience may vary. I can only speak for myself. I went in thinking it would be bad. I went in thinking I get treated like crap because that's what I read online, and I just didn't find that to be true. I thought it was a pretty good employer. I thought they took pretty good care of us, especially for being a temp. I mean, I never would have thought they would have treated a temp this well. Like I said earlier, this is the best job I've ever had as far as the way they treat their employees. Some days in peak season were tough, but I mean, I went in expecting that. I went in expecting it to be tough. If you don't want it to be tough, make sure you get a good night's sleep. Make sure you expect to work. Make sure you got some good shoes with good inserts, and it won't be that bad. Like I say, I never really had a problem. I met some cool people. I became a harder worker. I learned some new things, and I got $4,500 for working there for a couple months.